Hello, and welcome to House and Home Chat Real Estate Real Talk with Dena and Chris. I'm Chris Breitenbach.
And I'm Dena Mathis, and we're excited to be coming to you once again from Aberlin Springs for part 2 of our program. And today we're chatting with a homeowner in this community. Her name is Angela Storch, and she's going to be giving us a homeowner's perspective on this agri-community. So a little bit different angle than last week.
Yes, and if you'll remember, last time we were meeting with Leslie Aberlin, who is the developer and the powerhouse behind this community. Today we're going to try to get a little bit different perspective.
Yeah, so we're excited to talk with Angela, but then in the real talk portion of our program, we're going to be discussing the top 6 reasons why it's important to use a licensed realtor to represent you when you're buying new construction. But for now, we welcome Angela to our program.
Thanks for having me, you guys, and welcome to my home.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, it is so beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We're excited to be back here again and obviously be in your home.
Yeah.
What a joy it is to have you here. And I'm excited to share some details of why I've moved here and what it's like to live here, what my neighbors are like. We've been here about 1.5 years now, and we've settled in, and it's just been a real blessing to be here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Why don't you just tell us a little bit about who you are and where you've lived and
Okay, sure. Well,
some background.
I'm married to my husband, Mark, and we have a daughter. And we were living in Mason, which is only one town over.
Yeah.
Very close.
We're
to here.
familiar.
I've been there. I don't know, this
Mason's
morning.
a great place to live. What a great place to live. Great schools, great community center. We're still members over there. And the shopping and just so convenient. So yeah, we lived there for, over 10 years. Loved it. But wanted something smaller once Zoe left home.
Yeah.
It was time to downsize. So we had a little bit of a journey, Mark and I, as far as figuring out, where to go. So the main priority was really kind of downsizing and getting lower maintenance on the home.
Okay, well that makes a lot of sense when you're an empty nester and you're done doing all those maybe Mason mom things, right?
Right.
And you're looking for, just a different lifestyle change a little bit.
Exactly. So we started looking around, and we first started looking kind of closer to downtown Cincinnati.
Okay.
Just to kind of maybe.
That's a lifestyle change,
Right. Like a more urban kind of lifestyle, closer to the entertainment and leisure options there. But couldn't really get my husband on board with that because we were looking at like apartments, smaller footprints, but we're talking like less than 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
Really tiny. So that really didn't work out. So then we tried to really stay in Mason, but Mason really doesn't have a whole lot of options for downsizing, lower maintenance. There just wasn't a whole lot.
Okay, so that was the priority.
It was. So just by chance, talking to a couple of people who were living here already, just by chance, I found out about Aberlin Springs. We came here, and we both figured it was a win. So it was something we both agreed on. We both could picture ourselves living here. So I'm glad it worked out.
And I'm having a hard time picturing this as a downsizing. Just because you certainly don't get that feel. But this is a common story that we're hearing quite a bit, right?
Okay.
Is that, your kids are gone. You don't really need the large 4-bedroom, 2-story on an acre or half acre. Most people don't have quite
and the maintenance of the yard and, just being able to enjoy your weekends. Doing things other than,
That's it. I mean, we wanted to do other things.
Yes.
The yard we had was beautiful and big and green and lush, but it took so much work.
Right.
And this is a more appropriate fit for us now. We have a small side yard that we can put flowers in, and it's lovely, but that's one of the benefits of living here is they cut the lawn, they shovel the snow. It's a lot easier to live here.
So this, the interesting thing about this is obviously you started off as a downsizers, but Aberlin Springs isn't your typical community. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I mean, you're still a long way away from that typical Mason suburb, even as a downsizer. What about this community attracted you the most?
Well, to be honest, you would think I would say, oh, the farm, but that really wasn't the main attraction. It was like an added benefit for us. Now that we've learned about it and now that we're living the lifestyle, we're thankful for it.
Okay.
But it's interesting that, what brought us in was the low maintenance lifestyle. And now we realize how great it is to be part of a farm community. So Aberlin Springs is the first and only farm community in Ohio. I did a little bit of research, and there's about 100 farm communities or agri-communities in the country. In the country, right.
All right.
So not very many.
It's not, and I'm hoping it's part of the larger trend. Because it is a vehicle to connect you to your food, which we've become, I believe, more educated as a people about fast food, how terrible it is for us. The sodium, the fat, the fact that you're eating on the run constantly is just not good for our bodies. So being connected to our food, eating the food that's grown on our property without the use of fertilizers or pesticides is really an amazing thing, to have this organic farm at our fingertips. One of the first things that people ask me is, do you have to work on the farm?
That's,
that is right.
Well, when we posted about the community, when we did our first interview with Leslie, those were the questions that I got, like text messaging and social media.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to know what exactly is an agri-community, and do I have to be a farmer?
Do I get a ride when I close on my home?
Right.
Friends of ours did give us matching farmer's hats as a gift. But no, you don't have to work the farm.
Okay, thanks for making that clear.
Yes, you can rest easy knowing that you don't have to work it, but you can reap all the benefits of it.
Yeah.
So it just, we hire professional farmers to work it. They plan what's going to be planted every season, what the crops are going to be, how well they're going to grow in the soil. They order the seeds, they do the harvesting. We can go over there if we want. So it just turns out my husband and I enjoy getting our hands dirty. We don't want to mow the lawn. We don't want to trim the trees. We don't want to do any of that like we did in Mason.
But you like
working
digging your hands in the soil.
Exactly. And we can do it as much or as little as we want to.
Okay.
So it's different when it's an obligation versus something you want to do. So we're getting a lot of enjoyment out of that. And then to be able to see these crops just get harvested and show up on our plate the same day, it's an amazing thing. And then as an example, the CSA box, it's a consumer supported agriculture box that we get every week.
We talked a little bit about the CSA. So you have to buy into that, right?
Yes,
and so does everybody in the community have to buy into that?
It's part of living here. It is part of living here. So yes, yes. And actually the cost is $850 for the year, and you get more or less 27 boxes for the year. So the growing season, let's say, is April to October. Every week you're getting a CSA box.
Oh, wow.
So today's, and I think you said Wednesday, is it Wednesday?
Wednesday's my day. So yeah, 4 o'clock, I'll get my box.
I was going to say, did you get the box?
It's coming in a few hours.
We'll be sure to stay for dinner.
You're more than welcome to. Actually, I got some raspberries from in the refrigerator that I picked yesterday.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, so remind me to give those to you.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll remind you. So tell us what comes in this box or this basket.
Well, this time of year, I mean, it's going to vary week by week, but this time of year, it's carrots and fennel and green onions, beets, a lettuce mix.
So it's like the produce section at the grocery store came to you.
Yeah.
It's like delivery, but from your own backyard.
And the stuff that's in season. So it hasn't been trucked over from California. It hasn't been cold shipped. It hasn't been sprayed with anything.
Right.
I very rarely even wash it, to be honest with you, because I know there's nothing on it.
Yeah.
And a little bit of dirt's not going to hurt anybody.
Right. When you know it's the dirt that hasn't been, like you said, fertilized and doesn't have all sorts of chemicals to it, it's different.
It is a lot different. So we've gotten really good at planning our meals for the week once we know what's going to be in the box. So that we can really make sure we use everything up.
Is it a surprise or do you know in advance?
We do get a little bit of a heads up notice. We get an email maybe a day or two before that's kind of letting us know what's coming. So that helps us plan. And we've gotten so creative, different kinds of pizzas and stews and casseroles and
Pinterest is my favorite friend. So.
Pinterest is very helpful. And actually the neighbors have come to exchange recipes with each other.
Well, that's Lovely.
which is kind of another fun thing. So there was last year, we have a mushroom operation that kind of comes and goes.
Okay.
So last year we had these lion's mane mushrooms that were delicious. And someone had a recipe for using those mushrooms in a recipe that makes something that looks and tastes like a crab cake.
Ooh,
It was delicious.
nice.
Oh my god.
So for like 2 weeks, everybody here was making those crab cakes and just saying how great they were.
Oh my god.
So that's fun.
And it's all so seasonal, like you said. It's
Exactly.
fresh and seasonal.
So you're getting these the produce at the height of its nutritional value, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the added benefit of the community coming together.
Yes, yes. Well, so we have 2 pickup days over at our little market, Wednesdays and Fridays. So that's an opportunity to kind of, see how everybody's doing and check in with people.
So that everybody understands the market is what and where is it?
Yeah, the market's a physical building that we have on site here. It's where we keep all of the harvest.
Okay.
And where the produce boxes are assembled.
Okay.
So that's kind of our meeting place. It has a gigantic walk-in fridge and refrigerators for the eggs,
Okay.
meats.
Yeah, we did take a little tour of it.
Yeah, we have
That's
really
right.
nice things there. And in addition to those things I just mentioned, we do have prepared foods in there too.
Okay.
So we have
Who
a gal.
prepares those foods? Do you go over
Good
there?
question. I do not. If you're lazy and you don't want to cook,
Okay.
like I sometimes am, we have a gal, her name is Rebecca, and she works here. And she's a chef, and she prepares these amazing meals from the ingredients from the farm.
So it's like
Okay.
having your own personal chef.
In a way, yes, it is, because you can go there at any time and pick out a quiche or a pizza
Oh my
or a
god.
casserole. And of course, you pay for it.
Yeah.
But it's just super fresh, delicious
Oh my
food.
gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And actually, when we first moved in here, the first couple days, when you move and you're just overwhelmed with the boxes
Right.
and you're hot
Yeah.
and you're tired, and it had come to the end of the day for Mark and I, and we were just at our wits' end, just exhausted, and we didn't have anything to eat. So now we start arguing over who's going to go get a pizza. And then we realized, wait a minute, we've got a farm market now, and there's food in there.
There's food.
So we brought back this, it was like a beef stroganoff.
Oh my god.
It was so good and just what we needed at that
It's like
moment.
somebody,
Yes, like
somebody made
real
you.
food, right?
Yeah, the moving casserole.
Exactly. It was just the perfect thing at the perfect time.
That's amazing. So Chris touched on a little bit. You mentioned like the community coming together. What is that like here? What's the lifestyle and living that lifestyle like?
Well, I think you could be as involved as you want to be. People are busy with jobs and families and, family commitments, things like that. So I think it depends what stage you're at in life.
Okay.
The things that we do offer here, as far as social activities, are we do have a happy hour every month.
Okay.
And it's in that chalet building.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
you guys went
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the farm animals in the courtyard.
Yeah, the background, right? So yeah, we
So
have a nice happy hour there every
cute.
month, and people will bring a dish. It's kind of like a little bit of a potluck appetizer situation. Leslie usually provides the beer and wine, so it's just an instant party once a month, and that's really enjoyable. We also have one of the neighbors who lives here just took it upon himself with people's approval and built a pickleball court
Oh,
nice.
nice.
over in one of the parking lots. So we play pickleball on Saturdays. That's gotten to be quite the craze, I think, not only
Yeah.
here, but
Right.
everywhere.
Right. It's become a thing, hasn't it?
It has. Do you guys play?
I don't.
I do not.
Oh, okay, it's fun. I'm not that great, but I enjoy it.
I played, but I don't play. Let's put it that
I think
way.
the more you play, the better you get, like anything
yeah,
else.
yeah.
We started a book club here about a year ago, so we meet
Oh.
monthly.
Did Leslie
For
say that
that.
you started the book club maybe?
With help, I
Okay,
did,
okay.
yeah.
I
With
thought I
help.
remembered her saying that.
I love to read, and we had a book club at my last neighborhood. So,
Okay.
so we actually just had our meeting last night in the chalet, which seems to be our meeting place.
Uh-huh.
And if you,
And the chalet is like your clubhouse, I guess, would be
It
in
is.
any club community, I guess.
right, I mean,
or
it's
where you might
really
have
it's really the residents
yes.
of the Aberlin family when we
Yes.
first lived here,
It's
but
beautiful.
it's really lent itself very well to becoming a clubhouse situation. It's got a beautiful kitchen that can be used for cooking, preparing meals. It's got a nice table and meeting space. So we also have in that building these farm to table dinners, and that's pretty much quarterly.
Okay.
every 3 months or so. And Rebecca, that I was telling you about, our chef, she organizes all those. So that's a real like soup to nuts. You know, there's a signature cocktail, and there's appetizers and dessert and
And
everything.
that's for people in the community?
Yes, and I
Okay.
believe some of them they even open up to the public.
Okay.
So you pay for a ticket for that. It's a wonderful evening, and all made from ingredients that are grown within 10 miles of here.
Wow.
So that's a real treat. And then July 4th is kind of a big deal here. So
What will you guys do for July 4th?
We've got a big celebration here.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course it involves food. Everyone's gonna bring food. Someone's gonna roast a lamb.
Fresh food.
Oh, yum.
Who's that someone?
I won't reveal any names. It's not me.
Oh, I was gonna say, because
It's a little bit of a
I
tradition,
thought
isn't
maybe,
it?
yeah. So for our listeners, Angela and I have kind of a backstory. We both belong to the Greek Orthodox Church, and Greek people love lamb, right?
Exactly.
So I'm thinking maybe Angela has something
No,
to
it
do with the
wasn't
lamb
me.
now. Okay.
So yeah, we'll have a lamb. We'll have dishes. We'll have an amazing fireworks display
Mhm.
over here, right
Nice.
at the farm. So I'm looking forward to that. That's a fun event.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like there's so much to do.
There is, and like I said, you can do as much or as little as you
Mhm.
want. It's really up to you and kind of where you're at. And I guess that leads me to, there are a variety of people who live here.
Yeah, we were going to ask about the demographics of the
Yeah,
community.
Because even the housing that's here, to me, lends itself to different demographics. Because people have different needs, right?
Exactly. So yeah, like the section that I live in, the courtyard homes have the front porches all facing each other. So I believe to encourage social interaction. So that's lovely. And there are quite a few people in the courtyard homes, which are kind of the smaller homes, that are empty nesters like us. There are a fair amount of single people here.
Okay.
I think they're a little overrepresented in our community, which in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think there's more than in a regular suburban neighborhood.
Okay.
And I believe
More singles.
I believe it's because of the social aspect of the community.
Okay.
And then of course there's large families, small families. There's kids everywhere running around, and
kids on
they're on their
bikes
bikes.
again.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
and I could see, looking at this lifestyle, right? You've got your own home, you've got your own space, but again, you mentioned in the courtyards, the clubhouse, the courtyard homes, you're not doing your landscaping.
Yeah.
So it does, I'm thinking somebody again who doesn't want to deal with it, it does give them a good opportunity.
Right, and there's the flexibility for that. If you
Yeah.
don't want to live in a courtyard home, there's the manor homes and the estate homes, which have full-on yards. And so, there's so many beautiful homes here. Sometimes I'll walk around and there's people who go nuts with their landscaping.
Right.
They love it and they spend hours on it. So you can kind of have it whatever way you want, really.
You can have it always. It
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, some of these homes, there is a variety of homes. Tell us a little bit about maybe some specifics about the home that you built here as a downsizer.
Yeah, I know. Okay, probably won't sound too small,
and it's not in the least, but
right.
But
Okay.
maybe a downsize from where you came from.
It was, believe it or not. So this home is about 2,200 square feet.
Okay.
We wanted 3 bedrooms, which might be kind of, on the bigger side for a courtyard home. I think some of our neighbors have a master and maybe a loft or a master and a guest bedroom. We wanted to go a little bit bigger because we have family that's all over the country that visits, and we like to be able to accommodate them.
Yeah.
So
and you've got 3 floors of living here too.
Right. Yet we could stay on the first floor.
Yeah,
and
you don't have
happy.
to leave the first floor.
Exactly. Exactly. Sometimes we don't.
Right.
So that's very convenient, and I think it's the smaller square footage just makes it so much easier to keep clean and tidy up easily. And we do have our little tiny yard. We have like a 3-season room that I showed you guys, 4-season room now. So we can kind of feel like we're outdoors if we want to stay inside with the air conditioning. And yeah, I did want to mention that there was we do pay a homeowner's fee.
Okay.
In addition to the farm fee.
Okay.
And that is $2,500 a year.
Okay.
And that is, as I mentioned, they cut the lawn, they shovel the snow. We do have a swimming pool here.
I was going to say, we noticed that there's a beautiful pool over there at the main house also.
And I think that's very reasonable.
Yeah.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very
reasonable.
It's
that's
not bad
only
at
a
all.
couple $100 a month.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, when you consider that, lifestyle communities, just the lawn maintenance and things,
Correct.
that exceed that cost, but then you have all the added benefits of the pool and
there's a little hot tub.
There's a walking community. There's
right. We've got
sidewalks.
a little lake that has a paddle boat or a rowboat, whatever you want to choose there. You can fish in there. It's stocked with fish. My neighbor here next door loves to fish there. He throws them back. And then just the benefits of the farm. So you can also have, if besides getting our weekly box, you can have your own individual little plot of growing space.
Okay. Do you have your plot here?
I don't.
No?
I don't. I prefer to get what the farm provides and kind of leave it at that.
Okay.
But yeah, some of my neighbors have a plot and they're growing zucchinis and tomatoes and things like that.
Okay.
And I think there's a minimal fee for that. But if you want to go that route and you really want to produce your own little batch of food, then that's another little option too.
So yeah, it sounds like there's you can be as involved as you want in the whole process,
right?
Or not at all, and you can just benefit from getting these baskets show up every Wednesday.
Yes, that's what I prefer.
At your front door.
Well, yeah, but you're out there working in the fields.
Yes, and actually, it's a very hot day out today. I think it's going to be like 96. And
out working in the
my
field.
husband's out there right now, the poor guy. So we might see him walking here like dripping sweat. But he enjoys it. I told him just bring water with you, make sure you stay hydrated. So it's a nice way to spend the afternoon actually.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would think so.
How long have you lived here?
It's been a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're pretty settled in. It's we've got our little routines, in place now, as far as we're still pretty connected with Mason, believe it or not.
Well, that's the other thing is that, we notice looking around us. I mean, in all these beautiful windows that you have to the outside, it's very wooded and it seems very private. And you're in this like oasis. You're just tucked into. You feel like you're in the middle of, nowhere, but yet you drive down the hill and you're in the middle of everything you need to be in.
Yeah,
right?
it's a nice compromise actually, because it does feel like we're in our own little environment up here once you come up the hill.
Yeah, once you come up the hill,
it's very like, tranquil.
It's a different world.
It is. And yeah, I mean, Target, the big box stores that you need for convenience, Lowe's, Kohl's, all those are like literally 3 minutes away by car. So yes, the location is really, really nice. You're getting away, but you're still connected. And then having our community center that we still belong to, as far as the gym, a lot of our friends are still in Mason.
Yeah, we're super close.
Right.
Yeah, so doctors didn't have to change doctors or dentists. Those are all still in place. So it's been very convenient.
And if you'd moved downtown, you would have had more of a change, I think.
We would have.
And you wouldn't be looking, like every window that I'm looking out of is a view of trees and woods and greenery, and you wouldn't have that.
True.
And we're in the bee garden, right?
We're in the bee
That's
garden.
the name of our little area.
Bee as in the little buzzing thing. Not bee as in the letter.
And I just got a little gift. I had the neighbor next door, Karen, went away for vacation, and she came back and brought me like a little beaded bumblebee. So like that's kind of a thing now. Is the bumblebee is kind of like our emblem. So we're having a little get together this weekend with the 10 homes that I'm a part of here. It's our annual croquet tournament and potluck, because of course it has to involve food.
Of course.
So the theme of that, of course, is the Be Green annual croquet tournament. So yeah, we try to bring that in whenever we can.
That's great.
But yeah, food, as you can tell, food is like the main theme here.
Well, and food is life.
Right.
Right. And if you're a foodie, this is like a paradise.
Yeah, absolutely. And Leslie had a really great backstory. She told us, all about how, obviously passionate she is about this community based on her personal story.
Right.
But it's great to see how everyone is so connected through the farm and through food and the social aspect.
When you look at it, food is medicine. Food is what nourishes us, what builds our bodies.
Yes.
So, I'm hoping that this is part of a larger trend of people becoming more connected with their food, knowing where it's coming from, respecting the land. I'm sure when people think about, well, can you scale it up? This seems to be the thing these days, scale it up. Yeah, that just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Why not keep it small?
Right.
Why not keep it something that you can kind of really appreciate the quality of it and control the quality of it?
Good point.
Yeah. So, we've learned so much about this, my husband and I. We're not farmers. I grew up in suburban New Jersey, the most densely populated state in the nation, So, no, this isn't something that I was thinking about or planning
Drawn
for.
to for a particular, because of your background.
No, but the fact that I'm here is just wonderful and has really kind of turned a light bulb on for me in terms of being well and trying to achieve wellness and what you can do for that. And it's not always the easy thing. Most of the time it's the hard thing. It takes a little bit of preparation, takes a little bit of forethought to make sure you're putting in your body what is good for it.
But being in this community seems like it makes it a lot easier, right?
It does.
It's that step that you take to get you to that next level where it just kind of surrounds you, it seems like.
Exactly.
And the whole culture of it, right? It's not only is it the fresh food, but you've got the people supporting you around you who are cooking.
True. We were in the habit of going to farmers markets. We have quite a few in this area. But the temptation when you go to a farmer's market is, I don't really like asparagus. I'll pass on that. Or turnips. I don't know what to do with turnips.
Right.
But when you get it in the box, you're going to figure it out.
Figure out how to use it.
And enjoy it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, and enjoy it.
Too.
Oh, yeah. We've learned to eat turnips. And we've learned to eat kohlrabi. Like, I didn't even know what that was.
You'll have to tell me after the podcast, because I have no idea. I'll have to look it up.
It's fascinating. And just all the different nutrients that are in each little different piece of produce. And the farmers are really good here in that, and again, this is more stuff I've kind of picked up on, planting cover crops. A cover crop is something that protects the soil in between crops.
From one crop to the next.
Right,
okay.
or planting complementary crops one after the other, where one crop draws certain nutrients from the soil, the next crop draws different nutrients from the soil to replenish it. They don't do a lot of tilling here. Tilling apparently disrupts the soil and leads to erosion.
So it's really hands that are doing the work.
It is. It is.
A lot of physical.
Wow.
And we do have implements. I mean, there are certain things I've learned about. Implements that I never knew existed.
Gotcha.
Girl from New Jersey, like who would have guessed, right?
Well, and I love that you've shared with our listeners your backstory. You weren't like Miss Farmer Girl, and that's how you ended up on this in this community of
or on a
holistic
holistic journey, right?
You weren't
on a
No, I
holistic
really
journey.
wasn't. I was not. I was not.
This community really lends itself to everybody and anybody.
Exactly. Anybody who
like.
in particular, who would like to achieve a more social lifestyle, it's here if you want it, and who wants to achieve, a higher level of wellness, hopefully. I mean, there's no guarantee in life, but at least we can try to put things in our bodies that are good for us, and be a little bit more in touch with our environment.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is there anything we haven't touched on, Angela? That's
goodness.
and we've covered a lot.
We have
covered a lot.
I did want to mention that there are other things connected with food. As far as our chef Rebecca, I mentioned that she stocks our freezers, and she hosts cooking classes. So I've had the chance to, when we first moved here, learn how to make fried green tomatoes.
Oh, nice.
Have you ever had those?
No,
I haven't.
I've never made them.
They were delicious. So like she taught me how to make those. But the more formal classes are like bread making or appetizer tapas preparation.
That's nice.
There was one class just for vegans.
Okay.
So there's a variety of cooking classes that we hold here.
And those sometimes I know are available to people who don't live in the community, right?
Those are open to the public.
Those are open to the public. So there you have it, everybody.
And
you
those
don't
can
have
be
to
found
live
on
in
the Aberlin Springs website.
Exactly.
They have a whole calendar that you can follow.
And we have
Get online and sign
open
up.
houses every Sunday from 12 to 3. They can help themselves to what's in the market and purchase any produce there, take a look at a model, or just kind of walk around and see what it's all about.
Fantastic.
That is wonderful.
Well,
Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so glad you came. I'm so glad you got to see my home and see what it's like
so
here.
wonderful.
And thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And our small business shout out again is going to go to Aberlin Springs and Pendragon Homes. Dena and I would be happy to schedule an appointment with you to come back to this wonderful community and show you around. Well, that was such a lovely conversation. I'm so glad that Angela could join us, and she shared her fresh raspberries with us.
I know, they're so good. Aren't they?
The hair is so good. I know. Can I have another one?
If you're listening, now you know that we're also eating fresh raspberries. That as she was walking home, she just happened to,
walking home from book club. We're going to pass the raspberry bush. Let's get some.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what we love about Aberlin Springs, and I've got my mouth full right now. But hey, as we're turning to our Real Talk segment of our program, we're going to talk about the top 6 reasons why buyer representation is important, and specifically in new construction, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So a lot of people, just don't realize that when they're going into the process.
There are people who think I don't need an agent in order to buy new constructions. There are so many benefits to having representation. Dena, what are your thoughts on number 1?
Well, I think what people need to keep in mind is that the builder and the buyer counselors or the builder reps and those people that represent the builder actually work for the builder, they represent the builder, and they represent the builder's best interests. So although we, love to partner with our builders, it's all about representation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about it, right, or most of us, if we are going to go into a court of law, we're not going to go without representation, right?
Exactly.
And so I just think of it as the same thing. You're going into a contract that you're going to be committed to. And so you really should have somebody who's an advocate for you on your side.
Exactly. And we had a great conversation the last time we were here and talking with Leslie off camera, actually, and about buyer representation. And as a realtor herself, she really reiterated how supportive, she was about the whole buyer agent representation, told us some great stories.
She was very emphatic, actually.
Very emphatic, yeah. Told us some great stories. So whether it's this community or any other, builders and realtors really work side by side cooperatively to help get deals done. So we've got great partnerships with our builders.
Definitely.
What about number 2, Chris?
Your agent can help you find the right community for you. So Aberlin Springs, Dena and I think is amazing. It's a unique community, and there are people who are going to love it and people who don't. And so we have, the knowledge of what are the other opportunities. And Dena and I specifically, and if you've watched or listened to our podcast, that we are always out looking at new communities for you, whether it be a neighborhood and what that neighborhood offers, or whether it be the new construction. Like Aberlin Springs, we were just at Union.
Yeah. Union Village.
Union Village up in Lebanon.
Right.
We're out there exploring those for you, and we might have that suggestion. You might think you're going downtown,
right?
And we can throw out that suggestion. Have you ever thought of this?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. We know all the different communities all over Cincinnati. We are familiar with what they offer. And, as our clients, we get to know what's important to them. So we're able to guide them into those communities. We also really, have our ear close to the ground about builders and builder reputations and, who delivers on time and just, the whole process and the communication transparency with builders and such, such things such as that. So, we've got the knowledge, not just about the one builder, but a variety of builders across the city, and we can help guide you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Number 3.
So number 3, I think, a buyer's agent can help guide you towards making appropriate, modifications and plan, upgrades and things like that. And in talking with Angela, the Pendragon Homes, she said that she made some modifications to this plan. And with a custom builder, sometimes there's the option to make many more modifications than with, a builder that isn't as customized. But there are always things that you can do in nuances, and oftentimes that a builder will help you make if you know what to ask for, and you know what to do, and how to work those options. So we can really help with those things as well.
Nice. So number 4, as a buyer's agent, we can make you aware of additional considerations and potentially additional costs. And we don't want you to spend more money, or we want you to have the correct planning that you need. Great example. There are some builders that have their own lots, and there's other builders that you have to purchase your lot,
good point.
And they'll build upon it. Well, there's a lot that goes into that consideration, like the infrastructure, and do you need to add utilities? And I remember I recently had somebody telling one of my clients, you shouldn't pay more than X dollars for a lot. And my first thought was, well, that's all fine and good, but you're going to have to add probably another 30 by the time you add the things that need to go into that lot.
And all those other things that they haven't thought about.
Making sure that you're looking at apples to apples, and then there's all those little items that add up with new construction that you may or may not think about, or may not be included with a builder. So things like blinds, how much landscaping do you get?
Exactly.
Window treatments. So these things that add up, and again, some builders have them included, some do not. What is it that you get? But are you also keeping in line with your budget so that you can complete the job?
Exactly. And
driveways. I had one.
There was no driveway included.
The driveway's not included.
Or landscaping, or a myriad of different things that people don't necessarily think about. And then oftentimes, the point we were talking about, it's some of these things that they may or may not add that could add value to their home.
Correct.
Right? So when you call us and it's time to sell the property, we want it to be worth more than what you paid for
Absolutely.
it, and help you with those things where you're going to get more money out of it. Right. Right. Exactly. So those are all really good points. But that brings us to number 5. And what do we have for number 5, Chris?
Your number 5 is, we're familiar with paperwork, maybe not every buyer's contract, but we're familiar with the paperwork and the process. And we're here to help you make sure that your contract is in order. We don't want you to get stuck where you've maybe paid a down payment that is non-refundable. Under certain conditions. So it goes back to, as an agent, we have fiduciary responsibility to you when we represent you. And so we are always looking for what it is that's going to be best for you.
Exactly. Looking at your best interests, right, as the buyer.
Which brings us to the last one,
number
Dena.
6, and I think it's all about negotiation, right? It's what we do. It's what we do day in and day out. We are negotiating on your behalf. It's your professional representation. And we are guiding you and representing you through that entire process, helping to, negotiate points that you may or may not have even considered, right?
True. There's so many things that happen along the way from contract to closing. And so there's this whole process, and unexpected challenges come up consistently. I was just talking to an agent the other day, and they had a new construction home not appraised, and it's something people wouldn't think of. And so, it's a different strategy, but what do you do if the home doesn't appraise? What do you do if the builder hasn't finished something and it's closing day?
Right.
Well, as an agent, we can help you navigate that. We know what to do in order to protect you, so that those items do get completed.
It goes back to what you said earlier about having that representation, and you wouldn't go into court without, an attorney. So why go into a new construction process without representation? The bottom line is your agent, we as your agents know what you want. We've had these conversations. We know what your bottom line is, and we know how to negotiate and ask for it. So, different markets call for different strategies, but as your agents, we are here looking out for your best interests, right?
And I do want to add a bonus point to all of it. This is all only beneficial if your agent knows and is familiar and has experience in the new construction process. And so know that Dena and I do have that knowledge. We do have that experience with all kinds of builders, whether they be custom, whether they be track, whatever. We've got that experience already.
Right. And you can reach us at denaandchrisrealtalk@gmail.com. We'd love to help you with your new construction buying needs. We'd love to bring you up to Aberlin Springs for a look around this community. And that is all that we have for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to House and Home Chat, Real Estate Real Talk with Dena and Chris.
Have a good one. Bye.